Foreign Minister says the deployment of a US missile system to South Korea is a mistake. Wang Yi has likened deepening tensions between North and South Korea and the US to accelerating trains facing a head-on collision. Washington sent the system to protect its ally after several missile tests by North Korea. Live now to Beijing, and our correspondent Scott Heidler, who's been listening to the Foreign Minister, but it seems very much, he has been talking for a long time, hasn't he? But it seems very much as though the issue of the deployment of the THAAD anti-missile defense system to South Korea is the top line, is the headline from this.
Absolutely, Martine. Yeah, that has been a very top topic discussed very much here in Beijing over the last several days, mainly because of what we've seen the previous couple of days. We've seen the THAAD missile systems being deployed to South Korea, and we also saw more missiles being fired by North Korea, the THAAD missile systems going into South Korea. So it has been a topic, and it has been a topic in this annual press conference that the foreign minister is holding right now. This is during the National People's Congress. This is the week-long legislative meeting, annual legislative meeting. He's holding his annual press conference. And yes, that has been the focus, absolutely. But also, before he delved into THAAD, he spoke about the relationship with the United States. And you have a new administration there. You had a lot of anti-China rhetoric coming from candidate Trump. How is that going to be translated into President Trump and the administration? He softened his stance against China. He said that he's willing to work with the one China policy. And it'll be interesting to see when they start to really engage. But this is what the foreign minister said about the relationship right now.
We hope China and the United States can truly rise up over the old ideas, open up new horizons and build a new mature and robust relationship so that we can put the minds of our two peoples and the whole world at ease. Recently I had a face-to-face meeting with Rex Tillerson. My impression is that Secretary Tillerson is a good listener and good communicator. I hope and believe we can build a good working relationship and work together to realize the normal development of China-US relations.
So it sounds like a promising start then between the foreign minister and the new administration in Washington, but it is how China decides how to deal with its awkward ally of North Korea that is really going to test the relationship, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now, Rex Tillerson, the Secretary of State for the United States, will be coming to Beijing at the end of next week. He'll meet with his counterpart, the foreign minister, but also with President Xi Jinping. This is the first visit he will be making to China. So obviously this will be discussed. It'll be interesting to see how the rhetoric, the diplomatic speak will happen to the public, but you can imagine this is going to be a very interesting topic discussing between the two. And it's also interesting what the foreign minister has said about the situation with those THAAD missile systems in South Korea. He said it was a mistake, but also something he said about what it could do for South Korea. He said they're not acting too neighborly by doing this, but also he said it could make South Korea less stable. Now, this is something he's kind of going on to what he was saying earlier about the metaphor of the two trains coming together as what's going on for a head-on collision, what's going on the Korean peninsula. He says what South Korea is doing with these missiles, these THAAD missile systems, is making it less secure. So it'll be interesting to hear if that's discussed, too, once the U.S. Secretary of State is in town next week. Martine.
Scott Heidler, thank you.